The JobSeeker reporting line, DobSeeker. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee, or as I'm doing it today, my hashtag not sponsored $1.711 coffee. I can't pay $5 for a coffee anymore, guys. I can't do it now. I'm spoiled. But let's look at this article from Yahoo Finance, written by Jessica Young, discussing, well, as they're smartly calling it, DobSeeker hotline, slammed as dangerous in the hands of sleazy bosses. How they're painting it, guys. How they're painting it. Oh, and these words are loaded. It's a reporting line to inform the welfare department, I guess, or Centrelink, when someone refuses to take a job that you offer them. Yeah, that's it. I mean, sure, you don't have to take every job that you offered, but you shouldn't be applying for ones that you don't intend to take. That shows you're just trying to work the system. And there are going to be some people that do that. Honestly, that seems more effort than working. Really, working the systems, that's almost a job in itself. You might as well just get a job. But anyway, let's have a look at some of the takes on the DobSeeker hotline. What do you think, everyone? Let us know in the comments, because I know there's some viewers here who have businesses who are struggling to get staff. That's the sad reality of it. The government's new JobSeeker employer hotline has been slammed as unnecessary, punitive, and disgusting by unions and welfare groups concerned with an abuse, that it will be abused by unscrupulous employers. How? If you offer someone a job and they don't take it, then they continue to receive welfare. They're not fulfilling their mutual obligations, aren't they? If you don't like it, then set up your life in such a situation where you don't need to be dependent on the government support. I know they take your money and they force you to pay for it, but government forces us to pay for a lot of stuff. We should be advocating to reduce the scale of government, not make it, make dependency on welfare something to be celebrated. It's a sad thing that so many people have gotten in this situation, and a big part of it right now with this last recession is government intervention in the economy that's been so extreme, one has to question if it was necessary. They're the ones you should be blaming, guys. The new hotline, because honestly, I thought there already would have been something like this. The new hotline will see job candidates who turn down a job offer reported to the Department of Skills and Employment. Minister for Employment, Nicola Cash, revealed on Tuesday. Well, as an employer, if you go to the process of advertising for a job, interviewing people, and then offering them a job, and they indicated that they wanted it, it's frustrating that they won't take it. Because you have spent your time, you have spent your resources, and in good faith you've made this offer, and someone, if they're turning it down, sure, if they got a better offer somewhere else, hopefully that's good. But it's just, if they can't be bothered working, well, then they're wasting your time. Hopefully this will stop people wasting time of employers making pointless job applications. So, its establishment coincides with a $50 a fortnight, the increase to the base JobSeeker payment. Unemployed Australians who are deemed to not have a valid reason to turn down a job offer will be breached for that, she said. Now, there are some valid reasons, and they are quite reasonable for why you can turn down a job offer. But why are you even bothering? The problem is, because you've got these requirements to look for jobs, people are just going to look for jobs. They're going to look for, just to tick the box so they can keep getting the money from the government. They incentivize you. You can look for 15 jobs a month or something. They incentivize you just to tick and flick to meet their requirements, not to actually put effort in to look for one that you really want to have. So that can waste a lot of time. I mean, if you've looked for stuff and you've seen, we've gotten stressed when we had like 30, 50 resumes sometimes when we were advertising for people. Some of these retail jobs, they get like 500 to 700 applicants for some of these jobs. If someone does apply for a job, they're offered the job and they're qualified for the job, but they say no, the employer will now be able to contact my department and report that person as failing to accept suitable employment, Cash said on Tuesday. This will then mean that my department can follow up with that person, or alternatively, JobActive can follow up with that person to ascertain exactly why they said no to a suitable job. But the new measure has drawn criticism from business groups, unions, and welfare groups, as well as sparking intense backlash online in light of these sexual harassment allegations at Rock Parliament. What the hell does that have to do with this? I mean, what does that have to do with people not taking jobs that are offered for them? Can someone explain it to me? I don't know how the world works anymore. You know, it's got nothing to do with this. The Australian Council of Trade Unions President Michelle O'Neill describes the new hotline as unnecessary and punitive, skewing the power imbalance even further in favour of employers who might act rudely or inappropriately in an interview. Well, is this what people really think? Is this union representative? Oh, they might be rude or inappropriate. I couldn't dare work for them. Then that's a valid reason to not take a job. I mean, come on. Oh, wow. Are people so... If someone is rude or inappropriate in an interview, you can tell them no. Surely if they are claiming that they offered you a job, you can say, well, you know, or they're obviously lying. They didn't give me... I've got nothing in writing. I've got no offer of letter. You know. Or they were rude or inappropriate. That would be a valid reason, wouldn't it? Come on. See, this is all touchy-feely crap. This is the problem. Oh, you can't even ask people serious questions anymore. You can't even ask them, you know, we can't discriminate against anything here. Unless, of course, you're the government and you want to discriminate in favor of particular races, so minorities. So, you know, there was a study where they removed all identifying characteristics from applicants for senior civil service positions. Here in Australia, they did an experiment. And they found that once they removed the identifying characteristics, there was less racism than when the characteristics were there. There was racism in favour for Indigenous Australians and women. So you're a white man, you kind of discriminated against. That's how it is in the public service, guys. And I'm sure it's like that in many big organisations as well. It's just, you know, it's the culture at the moment. Guys, we're not living in a society that is merit-based. We're living in this one that's pushing for just simply statistics-based, you know, equality. It's dangerous. You want a society where those that are most suitable for the jobs get them. But see, this is the thing. I mean, the biggest unions that are growing here in the country, they're all full of middle-aged women. So unions aren't, you know, workers, aren't blokes. It's middle-aged women, guys. They're the unionists. So, imagine a circumstance where someone is treated badly at the interview, where they're harassed or perhaps sleazily propositioned. Oh, I mean, yeah, see, this is the thing. It's completely imaginary, okay? That's not... Who cares? If that happens, then they have a valid reason to turn down a job. If someone sexually harasses you or acts inappropriate or you didn't feel safe, then yeah, you can turn down a job for that, guys. It's really simple. This is dangerous territory to give power to employers to further punish people who are simply looking for work. You know what? The problem is with this type of talk. With this type of talk, you're going to have employers that don't want to even get involved with any of this potential mess or risk. You'll have people who are perfectly normal. They're not going to act like some sick, perverted freak that the unions or the Greens or anyone thinks usually men are. And you know what they're going to do? They're not going to hire women. They're going to say, you know what? There's an inherent risk with that now because of all of this rubbish. I'm just not going to even interview. You know, it's going to be the complete opposite of what these nutters think, these leftists think. Oh, we need equality. You know, why aren't women getting all these jobs? Because you're creating extra risk for it. How can people instantly go to this? What is wrong with these? How sick are these people's minds? The Australian Council of Social Services CEO, Cassandra Goldie, said the hotline was part of a narrative that further demonized unemployed people. We want to foster collaboration between employers, between social services, the union movement, and most importantly, between people affected by employment to find solutions and create the great jobs of the future. Instead, the government's going down a path of distrust and division, she said. Well, the union movement destroys jobs. Guys, it's a cartel. Don't think they create jobs. They don't. They're a cartel that intervene in the market artificially to create an unfair advantage and point of difference for the members of their cartel. They control the labor. And you'll find them around the country here. They will do illegal activity and engage in violence to perpetrate their ideological position. And then, I mean, look at the casual coal mine workers. You know, all those businesses owned by union officials' families that are not getting any of the perks of their members. They actually drive down the conditions of those that are not in the union. So, yeah. And you wonder why there's less incentive to start businesses here in Australia. There's less incentive to employ people here in Australia because you got to deal with all these idiots. This type of thinking is something you got to deal with. Why wouldn't you offshore it? Why wouldn't you offshore work? You get someone, you can deal with someone overseas who appreciates the job, who doesn't have the same sense of entitlement as some people may have because they've fed all this rubbish. Or no, just do the Australian way: buy houses, flip them, and negative gear them, and just build your wealth there. This is the thing. All of this stuff is just more stress. And you may not, if you haven't employed people and gone through just the paperwork and stuff you need to do, it's not worth it sometimes. This is the thing. It creates a situation where we're being driven just towards large, very big companies. So it's another attack on the middle class, another attack on the small independent people. They don't want that. They want you dependent on the government. They want you dependent on the big duopolies. We already have one of the strictest systems of income support compliance among comparable countries. Together, mutual obligation requirements will just make life even harder for millions of people without improving their job prospects. I mean, they're right in a way because, honestly, if someone is long-term unemployed, would you employ them? And as a harsh reality as is, do you want to take on that risk? If someone hasn't been able to find work for a long time, even if there's nothing wrong there, the first reflex will be, oh, something must be wrong. What's going on here? Those are the questions, that the discussions people will have around the table. Okay, it may not be PC, it may not be friendly, but that's going to be the reality. Because you'll be worried, particularly in smaller organizations, if bringing someone in like that could damage the culture. And that's often more important. Soon after Morrison and Cash's Tuesday press conference, Australians took to Twitter to slam the new measures, which had earned the nickname DobSeeker. Well, the majority of users on Twitter are also middle-aged women, okay? Just remember that, guys. In case it needs to be said, there are a lot of reasons people turn down jobs, including feelings it may be a terrible place to work. Setting up a hotline for businesses to dob in those who turn down work till they'll lose their meager payment is disgusting. Well, there's also people who are wasting time of employers trying to look for work. I mean, honestly, I think hopefully, I think the people that are actually dodging the system are minuscule. I mean, they're gonna be some, guys. They're gonna be some. You just got to accept that as the dead weight loss of having a welfare system to ensure people aren't destitute. That's what it is. That you're going to have some people there working the system. It couldn't be much of a life. I can't see how it's fulfilling, but okay. Prominent Australian author Jane Caro also echoed sentiments that women were left vulnerable if they turned down a job from... I mean, report women who didn't comply with sexual suggestions. I mean, come on, guys. Is this what... I mean, look at how old these women are. Okay? Look at how old she is. She's like 2 generations ago, guys. What kind of fantasies do they have in their head? You know, interviewers there going, trying to pick up these women. How often does that happen? And that would be a valid reason. Guys, if that's not a valid reason to turn down a job offer, then we've got some other issues. Maybe you need to empower people to realize the decisions that they can make. So hotline slammed amid Parliament House allegations. Okay, we see, this is the thing. They're just trying to link it to these allegations here in Parliament House. And I really, until there's actually been a verdict in a court, I don't want to jump on the mob. I don't care, honestly, until there's been a, remember, guys, innocent until proven guilty. That is what our justice system needs to be. Everything else is simply just mob justice, and you've got people there that can just use allegations as a weapon, as a political tool. That's the danger here. So that's why the hell they're linking at that? That's political. So we'll just skip over that rubbish. So, there are other hotlines should they prioritize. A new hotline to report racist acts. How about a new hotline reporting rorting of public funds? I reckon are more urgent than going after people. Yeah. Oh, God. Help me, please. Please. How about we try and create a system where the government steps back? It's not going to happen. We're too socialist here in Australia. Too many people are so lefty and expect the government to intervene. I mean, we're a nation of dobbers and bloody Karens, aren't we? You leave the bins out and someone will call council. But I mean, honestly, I've never actually looked at someone from a job agency for a job because we've been hiring professionals. We've had family members who have been sitting there waiting. They were pretty much given a job from a job agency, and they worked bloody hard when they got it, which is actually quite interesting. My sister-in-law, that's how she got a job. She's now considered a frontline worker, and as a frontline worker, they get the first opportunity to have the vaccine, and she really doesn't want to do it. She doesn't trust it. So one of the good things that's come out of that is she's looking at other employment opportunities. She started to do another childcare course. She could do nannying for Down syndrome children because she's got experience with that. There's a market there. But so sometimes good things come out of bad. Nevertheless, what do you all reckon, guys? Are you for the DobSeeker hotline? Do you think the fantasies that these old women are concocting in their heads, do you think there's any significant risk of that in employment? Or would that not be a valid reason? I can't imagine anyone, even the most hardcore bloody right-wingers, abolish all welfare, would not agree that that is a valid reason for someone to turn down a job. There you go. It's obviously a valid reason. It would have to be. If it's not, then we need to make some changes. But also, people wasting time of employers, it's a pain, and it needs to stop. So what do you reckon, guys? Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and enjoy the content I create here, there's a few ways you can support us. You can join us on YouTube or Patreon. You can support us using our affiliate links from Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or AussieBroadband. You can buy merch from HeiseSays, use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or support us via PayPal. Take care, everyone. Have a great day. I'll see you next time.